Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect, double speed Magic the Gathering from Scholars Games. This one was part of the new Friday night F&M series. It is a Legacy tournament series at Scholars. That is F&M Legacy at Scholars. This is for a Force of Will for first place, and we are going to see it's actually a 5-round tournament plus a top 8, and this is round 1, Storm for the first time without Gataxian Probe. And we see Chalice of the Void. Chalice already at 0 coming down. That's going to shut off Lotus Petal and Lion's Eye Diamond. And Chalice at 1 off the top. So Thoughtseize taking a Chalice, but another Chalice comes down anyways. And it's going to have to be a pretty difficult situation from here. Dark Confidant, Wasteland. So Storm with 0 permanents in play. This game looking like an absolute blowout here. Dylan taking 3. Going to need Cabal, Rituals, and Tendrils in order to get this done. And the Excavator there, going to allow for Wasteland Recursion. They're going to need to do all of this off of basics on top of it. 4 turns. Looks like Tendrils is in hand. So that's something. Dryad Arbor. Not increasing the clock. Still a 3-turn clock here, though a couple of fetch lands would change that. And really, only out here looks to be multiple Cabal Rituals. Jamming some 0 casting cost artifacts. And then a Tendrils. One more swing. This first game without Gataxian Probe going quite poorly. Liliana actually helping the cause here, getting rid of dead cards, but Gaddock Teague seals the deal. Dylan showing Teague, shutting off Tendrils. And that is it for game 1. So Storm off to a shaky start here with Abzan either mid-range, Aggro Loam, not exactly sure which build, what to call Dylan's list, how close it is to some of the more stock lists, if there is such a thing for these type of brews. But we've seen Chalice and Abzan colors, along with Wasteland Recursion. We'll see what the sideboard switches are. Discard going to be at its weakest here. The deck often able to get Hellbent. Dylan not going to be able to do a whole lot to stop Storm in these first, certainly on the first turn, possibly on the second turn. Now for bounce spells, I have revamped the sideboard a bit. The major changes for this list were, of course, cutting the Gataxian Probes. The next step from there is filling up on Preordains. That's kind of a no-brainer as a starting point. From there, I also added in an extra discard spell main deck. So going to 4 Thoughtseizes. Of course, Cabal Therapy ends up getting cut. There were 3 therapies in the main, so those turned into Thoughtseizes. An additional Thoughtseize added to kind of make up for the fact that you can't flash it back. And then a Chrome Mox in the main deck. And the thought process there was particularly in the post-board games, the ability to convert excess answers or dead cards into more mana and help you go Hellbent a little bit easier. Particularly critical of Fatal Push. Card that has been stranded in my hand on occasion. So Karakas in hand, that's going to be able to get rid of cards like Thalia and Gaddock Teague. Dark Confidant coming down for Dylan. Cabal Pit. Just trying to think of what creatures Dylan actually cares about. at 2 mana. But Echoing Truth bouncing that Chalice of the Void. And going to lead out with a Brainstorm and see what happens. Looks like Dark Ritual and LED. So some hot sauce. That Brainstorm may have just turned this grip into a lethal flurry of spells here. Lotus Petal, Storm 3, 4, 5, 3 black. Rain of Filth. And the last card is Infernal Tutor. All the mana's floating. Storm is 7. And 6 black. So with 6 black, I could get an Infernal Tutor and then play Tendrils, leaving Dylan at 1, hoping for Dark Confidant to take him out. But not necessary, actually. Pass in Flames going to be the better line. And there's the Tendril. So did have enough mana to grab Pass in Flames, Flashback, Cabal Therapy, replay the Infernal, and play the Tendrils. Which is generally how you want to do it. If you can avoid ad nauseum, particularly in game 1, where your opponent's not going to be able to interact, that is preferable. My build here is running 2 Tendrils now, instead of a Tendrils and an Empty the Warrens. That change was made because Empty the Warrens was really a necessary card versus Check Pile in the previous meta. Their ability to get out Leovold as early as turn 2 made playing Tendrils a very dicey proposition. When you'd play Tendrils against them, they would be able to draw a ton of cards, each one of those Tendrils copies going on the stack and triggering Leovold's ability, letting them draw a card. Which, of course, could let them draw into a card like Flusterstorm and undo all your hard work. Here in Game 3, we see Gaddock Teeg and Thalia. Dylan's got to be pretty happy with that. And a Bayou Go for Dylan. And just setting up with a Ponder. And it's good enough. So that is a dangerous sign for Dylan here. And I certainly need to make a meaningful turn 2 play. Not having anything on turn 1. Very problematic. Mox Diamond into Thalia with no land drop. And Preordain paying 2, so much worse. Thalia really punishes cards like Preordain. The beauty of these cantrips is the ability to slot around your other spells and really sculpt a hand. And there's Gaddock Teeg. Now Massacre is in hand. Ugh. This is now a disaster. Gonna need to find a bounce spell or Fatal Push for Gaddock Teeg. Massacre not going to get the job done. Massacre is a little bit of a pet card. And Knight of the Reliquary here is a 3/3. So Massacre, if it does come online, will not clear the Knight. Be a nice 2-for-1 after getting rid of Teeg, but Teeg really the whole deal right now. Not able to do much with Teeg on the board. Can't ad nauseum or Past in Flames. Really just have to find an answer for him. Cycling Tranquil Thicket. And coming in for near lethal. One more turn. This turn really needs to be Fatal Push or Chain of Vapor plus Massacre, and then try and go off to the races. So an end step Brainstorm shows Chrome Mox could be useful. But if there's no answer for Teague, this is over. I don't see one. Oh, but he Ghost Quarters. Oh, no. So Dylan giving me a chance to draw into an answer to Teague. Let's see what happens. And it is not. We've got a cantrip. This is not going to work out. There's just simply not going to be enough mana. Going to preordain and see what happens. But yeah, that's going to do it. And just a ponder, just to not throw it all away without taking up all the screen time possible, I guess. That should do it. That is a hand that is just not going to get the job done against Gaddock Teague. You have to remove that guy. That is a very dangerous card for Storm to play against, and Dylan taking it down with his brew. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.